I've always been an early adopter of technology, and I like to see what new technology brings to my patients and my practice. So when I heard about the Rayner Galaxy lens, I was very excited. I was one of the first surgeons in India and in South Asia to get to implant this lens.
So the world first AI designed spiral IOL. Essentially, it's designed to be a full range of focus lens, but not a diffractive design. So it's positioning itself in the refractive full range of focus lens. The AI component is to look at how to optimize the distribution of light across all the different points of focus. So I spoke about the new Galaxy Spiral IOL and my initial experience with the lens. So I had a cohort of about 18 eyes, which is what I presented on with 1 month follow-up data.
The presentation was about my initial results using the Galaxy and the Galaxy toric lenses. We have implanted this lens in 12 eyes of 6 patients. They've all been bilateral implants, and we followed them up for a week. We found that the distance, intermediate and near vision was quite good. Almost all patients, 5 out of the 6 patients had very good distance and intermediate vision. One patient had problems with reading small print, but I'm sure that will improve because it takes some time for the refraction and the dry eye and corneal edema to settle after the implantation. This is pre-op corrected distance visual acuity versus the post-op uncorrected, and you can see that 100% of patients were 20/32 or better and 92% 20/25 or better. This is a change in corrected distance visual acuity. You can see that there were no patients that lost lines, and then there were 41.7% that gained lines. If you look at the spherical equivalent refraction attempted versus achieved, you can look at the scatter. There's a mild undercorrection which is there, but you can see that the R square is 0.98, which is pretty good. It's almost on the central line, so the refractive accuracy of this lens is very good and very predictable.
From others' experience, there was an expectation of a slightly myopic outcome. So we were targeting first plus in all of our patients. And there is definitely, there was an element of a myopic prediction error, which we measured as well to be about 0.37, minus 0.37. So, however, despite that, we had 94% of our patients within plus or minus half of plano and 72% within a quarter of plano. So we did account for that, and now the A constant's been optimized. So for surgeons starting their implants now, they won't have to make that adjustment. The A constant has been optimized for them already.
I was pleasantly surprised when I saw these lenses under the microscope after implanting them. Normally with trifocals, you see the ridges, the sharp ridges and the diffractive pattern. But with this lens, you could hardly make out the pattern on retroillumination. It's only when you play with the light, you can make out the central, in the central 3.2 millimeters, you can make out a little bit of the spiral pattern. But otherwise, you can hardly make out that it's a trifocal lens. We did the binocular defocus curves, and we found that there were no peaks as with trifocal or bifocal lenses, and we had a very fairly smooth plateau. So you almost get like a continuous range of vision from distance to near, and that's something which is very encouraging.
The results have been really, really promising. So patients are achieving, we had 72% of patients roughly 6.6 or better. In terms of near, we got somewhere between N5 and N6 for the majority of the patients. So we are seeing that patients achieve that full range of focus.
I was very pleasantly surprised to see the contrast sensitivity results, because normally with the trifocals, with a lower frequency, special frequency, they are within the normal range. But as you go to the higher special frequency for contrast testing, there's a drop below the normal range. But with this lens, throughout the entire range from low to higher special frequencies, it was in the normal contrast range. And that's because you don't have much light loss when compared to the diffractive trifocal lenses.
The biggest point of difference is because it's not a diffractive IOL that you're minimizing dysphotopsias at night. So glare and halos, and that has certainly been shown in some of the initial experience of a surgeon, as well as the global first in eye data. A first in eye study, and it is a collaborative effort from 9 sites with 10 patients per site. And this is the defocus curve, and you're essentially getting a really smooth kind of defocus curve, particularly in that intermediate range, about 0.2 to minus 2.5 diopters. So a really good range of vision. With regards to the dysphotopsias, the global study, so they showed some clear differences between the dysphotopsia profile between a PanOptix IOL as well as the Galaxy IOL. And patients who received the PanOptix had about 65% more glare and halos compared to the Galaxy. As well, about a third of the Galaxy patients actually experienced no halos and glare, which is unheard of with a full range of focus, particularly diffractive IOL. So very different.
There are many patients who live a very active lifestyle. They drive at night, and they're quite young, and they want vision for distance, intermediate and near, and want independence from glasses. Now with the trifocal lenses, it gives you independence from glasses, but then they have night vision issues, and then you can't put them in patients who drive at night. And with the Galaxy, it opens up a whole new dimension, because there are a lot of patients who want good night vision also, and who want to drive at night, and we can kind of cater to these patients and their demands.
So I think it's important to pick the patients like you would with a trifocal lens with no ocular comorbidities, no dry eye, and treat that aggressively post-op. I think you really have to still position it in the trifocal zone, and then sort of bounce off of your initial experience from there.